Hello everyone. Welcome to part 5 of our Solana Deep Links Phantom tutorial. This time I want to try something new. It's like little bit more of a follow along tutorial while I'm building it. Let me know if you like that format better or the one where I prepare everything before and just quickly explain how it works. So we want to bring the example that we did in the last 4 examples now also to WebGL. And with this Unity WebGL integration, we can then build something like World of QLive, for example, a game that we built. So you connect your wallet, then we load your NFTs, and then you can get into the game. So, first of all, what we need to do that is we need to write the JavaScript part. And Unity offers some nice functionality for that. So you just can write JavaScript functions here, which Unity then compiles into a library. And this library we can then call from our normal mono behaviors, the C# code, with this nice annotation here, DLL import internal, and then you have the function here, static extern. External means it's like a native code usually in the library. And then, for example, hello, and then we can just call it here from C#, and then it goes from here into the library and calls this JavaScript function, which in this case just shows an alert window. And how we go back from there is we can also call functions from JavaScript directly on C# with this annotation here. We basically need to take the game instance and then we can send a message and we put the game object name and the function name. So we just put the game object somewhere in our hierarchy, which has this name, and then the function that we want to call. Why we need this is because we can't directly return a value. I think we can return a string, but I think the better solution is to make it async, since all the calls are also async. So what we're going to do is we call a JavaScript function, and then we will, when we are connected to our Phantom wallet, we will back then call a function into Unity. So I prepared this a little bit already, actually. So in plugins, I created the JavaScript functions as JLib. But as you can see, it's not formatted correctly. So what we're going to do is we search for writer add file encoding for formatting. Then here we can see we can change the file type association by just searching for file type association, and then we can format this as JavaScript, because otherwise the formatting is completely screwed up here. So we go to associate with file type, then we take whatever, TypeScript should be good enough. And now we can see it's like formatted correctly. What I added here is also like a little error when we get an error. This code here I got from the documentation of Phantom. So we want to detect the provider, so we just look up in the window if Phantom is present, and then we return the provider. If you want to integrate other providers like, I don't know, Solflare or whatever, then you would need to change this code here, obviously. In JavaScript, there are some functions for that return you a bunch of providers. But for now, we only go with Phantom. If someone wants to add this later, you're very welcome to do this. So then I got this error here. That's why I decided maybe we do a code along thing. So this weird error here, var red node unequal 0 mods to me, I don't know. So I googled that, and apparently it just says that I googled it, and then support for keeping parentheses intact. So I just had a wrong bracket, and this was it probably. But let's see, since we are coding along, let's see, maybe it works now. The thing is, it takes a long time to compile, so I don't know if I should now just talk in the meantime, or if probably I will cut it out. Because otherwise it would be boring if you're just watching me waiting to compile. I mean, that's what I mostly do as a developer, right? I sit there, wait for something to compile. Okay, so we got another error apparently. Now that is not good that this happens now, while we are all on it here together. Internal compiler error, compiler.js. Unexpected token, bracket something. Okay, so let's see. This one is closing. This one is closing. This one is closing. This one is closing. This one is closing here. And this one is closing here. And this one, oh, there's one missing. Let's see. Very good that this happens now. Okay, so let's try again. So now we compile again. And the nice thing is that this will, later we will basically put this also, we will deploy it on the web. So we put it in Firebase hosting, which will be very nice because it's free and you can just do it. It's like a one-liner, firebase.deploy. I'll show this later, and I will also put this into the project. So you will have the whole page in there, and you can just make a Firebase project and then register your hosting, and then you can just do Firebase deploy to wherever you want it. If you don't have a URL, it's also okay. Then it goes to, I don't know, firebase.app. something. Yeah, but I linked it to my solplay.de domain, so it's also deployed already. So some of it was working earlier, but I'm currently working on making it nicer. So solplay.de, and here you have the example. You can connect. Since I already authorized it, it immediately connects. And you can do the same things like you did on the app before. You can mint, it opens the Beaver mint. So you can mint your Beaver here. Let's do that. Can never have enough Beavers, obviously. Okay, minted another Beaver. And you can also, the token swap also works. So you can get the Solplay token here. 0.1 Sol is about 0.72 Solplay currently. So I created this token with this Serum pool. If you want a tutorial on how to create your own pool for a token, you can also write me in the comments and I will do that. It costed around 3 Sol to create, and there's only 5 Sol liquidity in there. So if someone now buys the token, the price fluctuates a lot. So if I now buy 0.1 Sol worth of Solplay token, it already increases by 1.74%. What else can you do? You can request the NFTs like before, you can request them slowly, and you have the Solplay token here. So let's see how far our deployment is. It failed again. Same error, so there's still something wrong with the parentheses, it seems. Let's check the code again. So this one closes here, this one closes here, this one closes here, this one closes here, this one closes there, and this one there, and this one there. So this looks good. So I have no idea what the problem is. So I will probably search a bit. Yeah, so turned out that apparently the ternary operator, this little question mark here that checks for null, doesn't work. Since I didn't find anything about the error and seems that no one else has it, I assume it's just a Unity error in the current version, a Unity bug. So I just replaced it here with some other null checks and compiled it, and now we have the next error. So if I click here on Phantom, you can see that here in the try catch it goes to window alert, so we can now see the error, and it says reading send message cannot properties of undefined. So what could be undefined here? Probably the Unity instance. So what we do is we go into the HTML file and look at the code. So here in build WebGL, the index HTML. This is what Unity creates as a wrapper for our Unity WebGL instance. So here you can see we can change all kinds of things. So we can already call it Solplay, but it's auto-generated, so it will be overwritten again. So what do we need? We need window.unity instance. And we can see here we have the Unity instance, so we can just say window.unity instance gleich Unity instance. And then if we reload, let's see if we have another error. No, now it works. Okay, but as I said, this will always be overwritten again. So what we need now is template, so that this is always the same. So I googled this earlier already, WebGL template. So we have a few settings that we can set natively in Unity already. Here in the build settings under WebGL, the publishing settings. So we can say like the resolution and if it should be minimal or default. Default has a little loading bar. It's not beautiful, but it's better than nothing. And now we want a template. So we read here through the documentation. Go to player settings, player, WebGL, resolution, presentation, that we have already. Minimal, default, add a WebGL template. To add a custom template to your browser, navigate to the project assets folder and create a folder called WebGL templates. Now that we can do, so we go to assets, create folder, WebGL templates. Easy enough. Each template is a subfolder within the WebGL template folder. Each template subfolder contains an index.html file along with any other resources the page needs. So we can put some nice icons and images around our WebGL. The easiest way to create a custom WebGL template is to make a copy of the built-in default or minimal templates. These are stored under installation playback engine WebGL, blah, 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 blah. What we're gonna do is we just take the one that we already have compiled here. Hopefully that works. Maybe it doesn't actually. Okay, let's go there. So we go to programs, try to find Unity Hub, editor. I think we are at 21. Then we go to playback engines, WebGL support, and build tools, WebGL templates, default, index.html. Let's take the whole thing and just copy it over. No, that didn't work. So let's copy it here. Okay. So now we have that. The easiest way is to the folder rename to something meaningful. No, we don't need meaningful. Templates in our project. The name of the template is the same as its folder. To give, okay, so we should be able to find it here, which we don't. Okay, let's create a new folder. Let's call it SoulPlay template. And put it in here. And as we see, we don't see anything. So maybe we should have read it properly. Every Unity project builds these by default. Copy one and place it under your own WebGL templates folder and rename it to something meaningful. Okay, that we did now. Templates in your project's WebGL folder appear in the Unity player settings, WebGL template settings. No, they don't. The name of the template is the same as its folder. To give this option a thumbnail image for easy reference, add a image, thumbnail PNG. No, I think the thumbnail here is good enough, but it doesn't appear. So why not? Maybe we need to compile. Let's just change something here and go back. Nope. Okay, so I'll be right back until I figure this out. Okay, that was easy enough. It was like turn it off and on again. So I just restarted Unity and then it appeared. Okay, so let's compile and see if it works. Okay, so that worked. So now we have the version here live. Now what I want to do is like add the little link somewhere so we can link to our video and the tutorial. So just to change the page up a bit. Since I don't know how to do HTML, I just copy this. Let's put this here. No, that's not where we want it. Let's put it maybe next to the logo. Should be good enough, probably. Okay, so now we have a little link here. And let's link it to https youtube.com, and we say follow along the tutorial and the open source project here. Okay, yeah, nice. So that is everything we need to make it work in the browser. Now let's look at the code. Okay, so to communicate with JavaScript, I wrote this little script, the JavaScript wrapper service. And if you go in there, we can see it's very small. Basically, all it does is when it awakes, it registers itself in our little dependency framework, this It's called frictionless. It's very easy and straightforward, just a message router and basically a facade of singletons. But that's for our example, that's basically all we need. I usually use it for almost all my games because it's like a very easy way to structure and organize your code a little bit. Then what we do is we call this public function here, connect phantom wallet, first when we click on the button. So call phantom login. I did here a precompiler flag when we are on WebGL. Then we go to the JavaScript wrapper service, and otherwise we create a new key and do the normal phantom deep link on iOS and Android. Then what this does, it calls here this JavaScript function, like it's an external, so it's a JavaScript DLL. And this connect phantom is the function that we defined here in our JS lib. And then it does, I guess, asynchronous, so it connects to phantom. Then we get the public key. Then we do window Unity instance, the thing that we added in the template earlier. Send message, JavaScript wrapper service, which is the name of this game object here. And then it comes back to this JavaScript wrapper service dot on phantom connected with the wallet public key. So the wallet public key we give here. So this is the name of the game object, the function that we want to call, and the public key. Then we arrive here, and then we just do exactly the same thing like we would do for the deep links. We just call set phantom public key and send message. And then the message is sent and the UI updates itself and the NFT service starts loading all the NFTs. Yeah, that's already basically it for the WebGL implementation. As you can see, it's actually very easy, straightforward. Just if you want to do more complex things here, it might become more complicated to do. But what you can also do is you can, if you have a React app, for example, you can use React app Unity library. Let's see if we find it. Yeah, here React Unity WebGL. So you can use this library, and then you can also from React app directly talk to Unity. If you have a more complex thing, this might be the way to go for you. Okay, so next thing we want to do is we want to put it in the web, and we want to do it for free. So we go to Firebase. You need to create a new project. Then you go to hosting. Then in hosting, you can set up your a new app for yourself, and you can also connect it to a URL. So I bought, for example, solplay.de and connected it here. There's documentation here in the help section. So let's click on it, Firebase hosting. How does it work? It explains you everything, but basically what you need to do is you call Firebase init, and then you call Firebase deploy. So it's very straightforward. Okay, so now we copy over the HTML and the data. So copy it, and then I copy it in the solplay page folder, if I can. So you want to replace all. Replace. The Firebase JSON needs to be outside, and the others needs to be all in. So replace all. Then we open the terminal and we call Firebase deploy. And yeah, now it uploads it, and then we will be able to see it on solplay.de. Let's see if that works. Oops. Solplay. So it's loading. It's already good. It's a good sign. And yeah, there we go. It's working. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe. Check out the other tutorials of this series. You can find them in my YouTube channel. And also, of course, always check the source code. And in the next one, we will probably write our own smart contract and save some game data in it and try to interact with it directly from within Unity. So that's going to be very interesting. So see you in the next one. Hey, another thing that I noticed is that you can also open these WebGL applications directly within the Phantom browser. When you have a link that is marked with phantom dot slash slash and then your website where you have deployed it. So let me quickly show that. So here in the browser, if I just open this link, Phantom, then it tells me to open Phantom. And yeah, I'm immediately within Phantom and I'm already connected because I did it before. But then there's a pop-up here, which lets me also directly connect to Phantom. So it's very nice because you have a WebGL mobile app now, basically, as well, for free. So that's really cool. See you in the next one.